Hello, man. Buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, or whatever is the time where you are right now. A couple of years ago, I was dating a girl with an astonishing body. You know, the kind of body that you usually see that it seems a little bit unreal sometimes because girls usually complain that that's not a real body. Well, this girl had that body. Slim waist, wide hips, and I don't want to sound too vulgar, but like big bottom, right? But besides the body or how sexy and attractive she was, one of the things that got me to be into her was her sexual energy. Basically, the way that she would move on a smile and would express herself to me. It was like in this, you know, that kind of sexual chemistry that sometimes is difficult to find. Because that tension was built and it was so tangible. I could see on her eyes how hyped she was for being with me. Not like trying to flex or anything. But I could see that like primal desire on her. But when things started to scale up, I made it a warning and I basically tried to pause everything because I knew something that was going to happen. And that was that I wasn't able to last enough. And with all this energy that she had and how high she was, I didn't want to disappoint her. But however, because I thought that I was going to be able to manage it, and she kinda agrees that it was okay, it didn't matter how much I was going to last. We had sex a couple of times, and as I expected, the result wasn't good at all. And I saw how all the hype energy that she used to have was just going down and down until at one point, which she kind of frustrated, she just told me like, I only want you to last at least 5 minutes. That would be more than enough. And after a couple of years and overcoming pregnancy ejaculation, something that I realized was that that wasn't true. Just 5 minutes wasn't going to be enough either. And the reason for that is what I want to share with you today. My name is Jesus Noya. I'm a Venezuelan sex coach with the goal of helping men to last longer in bed, become sexually dominant, and be more attractive. All this while avoiding the deadly mistakes that I made through my sex life. This comes from my years of dating experience in South America and all the struggles that I had to go through, like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and non-existent sexual confidence. Today I want to share with you how having a time limit during sex is something that can totally screw up your relationship. Something that I already experienced in the first hand, how you can avoid it and start your journey to control your ejaculation and have the best sex life possible. And just very quick, man, remember that if you're experiencing things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and you want to be able to become a sex god, you can go and click the link in the description right now, and that way we can work together and making that reality for you as soon as possible. But now let's jump to the video. Because of my problem with premature ejaculation and not lasting enough, there was a period of my life where I basically obsessed over it. I just wanted to be able to last for 1 hour or 2 hours, as I was seeing in some places that was like the gold standard. There's even a Peruvian song that glorifies like the fact of lasting 2 hours. So even if it sounds like a joke, I basically wanted to be that guy. Not the literal guy, but a man that was able to last 2 hours. During my period of experimentation, trying new things, and my journey to overcome this, I was once with a girl that told me not only like compassion, but also trying to explain me for me to understand that sex wasn't necessarily only about duration. It wasn't like if I learned only to last for 2 hours, everything was going to be magnificent and I was going to become a sex god. That wasn't just truth, right? Because, for example, even if I was able to do that, as that girl that was already more experienced, she has actually been with guys that have that skill. There are different factors during sex that play an important role, and you basically need all of them, right? Like the connection that you portray, how good you move, the kind of sexual energy that you bring to the whole thing. All those factors were playing an important role, and you basically needed all of them. It wasn't about the specifics like this position or the way I move my fingers. It wasn't about that, but more of the whole intensity and energy that I would bring to sex. Kind of similar to dancing, for example. It's something that cannot be mechanic. You can learn like a whole choreography or the right steps, but it's not only about that. It is following the rhythm and the music at your partner all at the same time, like trying to vibe with the whole energy of the music. So she explained me all that, I understood, and then she proceeded, and this is when it comes to catch. However, if I want to continue and you cannot keep the pace, it's just lame. And even if it sounded a little bit rude, she was being honest with what she was saying. It was frustrating and disappointing with her no matter the time. If she wanted basically more, like for me to go faster, for me to last longer and do all those things, and I couldn't just do anything. That was just showing how incapable I was of satisfying her. And just that was something that was turning her off a lot. Some men usually, once we start to speak about these things, they get very disappointed because they feel like there's no nothing that they can do about it, right? Like they just have a limit, and if the women want more, it's something that they're not able to do, and the way to proceed is awful. They either get upset at their women and act like, like they're just acting like hoes or something, that this is how sex is supposed to be, and if they want more, then they're like, like immoral or some BS like that. And others, like it was my case before, for example, we proceed to feel like bitches, incapable of having sex with a woman, so we rather just let them go and find a man that is able to do that. And none of the approaches are good. If anything, they're just going to basically screw up your life and your self-image and your confidence. My first few years of suffering premature ejaculation, where I was only lasting like 1 second, 30 seconds maximum, and 1 minute was a miracle, I felt terrible, right? I felt like I was handicapped. Like imagine having hot girls that want to be with you, that want to have sex with you, like literally naked in your bed, and you can't do anything about it. That was feeling like trying to hit a ghost. Like it didn't matter how hard I tried, it was just impossible. However, something that I didn't know, that I didn't realize in that moment, was that this wasn't like a condition that I was born with, or something that I was destined to suffer for the rest of my life. It was something that I caused to myself, and then now I was paying the price for it. I came from the bad masturbation habits, my very bad mental relationship with sex and women, and that lack of control, I caused it to myself. However, in the same way, I could start to do something about it. I could regain that control and have mastery over my ejaculation and perceive of my sex life and my relationships. And the best part from all that, it was that I wasn't only going to like go to baseline, like be like normal, like old people lasting around 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, but because I was aware now that girls just don't want a guy that lasts 15 minutes or whatever. I'm more a guy that is able to control himself and go through sex with total control and ease, basically being able to go as hard and fast as he can and lasting how much he wants to last. That was the skill and the performance that I was aiming to have. That was actually my goal. It is like that, for example, with fitness. As I was someone that was super skinny, once I got introduced to the concept of fitness, my goal wasn't anymore only to, like only have an average body or look normal. It was more to build now a powerful, healthy, and muscular physique. Sex, the same thing. It wasn't my goal anymore only to last 5 minutes, as the girl at the beginning said. It was to have absolute and total control over my ejaculation, and I'm still on my journey to totally achieve and control that. But the results that I had so far until this point are just something that I can't be more grateful for. If there's one skill that can potentiate your sex life and skyrocket it to levels that you didn't imagine were possible, it's the skill of controlling your ejaculation, especially reaching to the point of having sex and not ejaculating at all. For some guys this may seem kinda crazy, but for the guys that have been already on this journey, they know that's basically the right way. One of the guys that I know that have been kinda achieving this already, he describes how different has been his sex life once he started to do this approach. He basically said that as he's not ejaculating as much all the time, he can always feel like this sex drive, like this masculine zest that keeps him on this state of like freshness and attraction with his woman still, in comparison with before, when even if he was having sex often with his woman, the act of constant ejaculation was something that was just like tiring for him. He didn't have that much energy and even sometimes felt a little bit of repulsion towards sex. And if you think about it, that makes sense, because once you ejaculate just once during sex, you just feel like either like sleeping, or you don't even want to like touch your gear that much anymore. It's not like that for all men, but you know what I mean, right? In comparing this version of himself to this older one that was able to control how much he wanted to last and have like this domination on the sexual relationship, the improvement was just a whole world of difference for himself in his own self-image as a man, but also for his relationship. Now that you're aware of the things that I have been saying, the main thing that I want you to realize that you have the ability to acquire this skill. There's so much room for improvement that I'm pretty sure you would be impressed. If you're actually interested about this topic, maybe you don't last as much as you want in bed, probably you suffer things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, or probably you just want to potentiate your sex life. As I usually pitch, you can go and click the link in the description, and that way you can have my personal assistance to help you to achieve that goal. But besides that, you have to be aware and internalize that this is something actionable. If you don't last as much as you want in bed, it's because of you. It is not because of a condition or something. It's just because you haven't put that much practice in it. You can improve your diet, your mental state, your physical state, your lifestyle, the way that you interact with women, or even implement certain specific sexual tactics. There's a lot of things that you can do. And even if it may take time and effort, it is worth it. Believe me, it is absolutely worth it. Because being able to connect in a deep and meaningful way with the women that you love and have sex in this like animalistic, primal, and passionate way is probably one of the most beautiful and fulfilling experiences in life. To achieve one of the best experiences in life takes time and effort. So it's time for you to start to put the work on it. And remember, there's no excuses. I really hope this video has inspired you or motivated you in some way to at least know what is on the other side. So you can start to work a little bit more towards it. So yeah, I really hope this helped you. And I'll see you later.